Today is our special episode. We have a credit card expert in the house.
I think the top card right now will be HSBC Live Plus. The one that just launched weeks ago. That one gives you 8% cashback.
And of course, if you have seen his content on his YouTube channel, Sethisfy, and you're a credit card fan in terms of like hacks, strategies, accumulate miles as well as cashback, today is the episode for you to really learn from Seth himself. What do you study in the past?
Actually, after JC, I didn't go to uni. Yeah, okay. So my education stops at JC, end of JC. Yeah, my result was terrible. I think triple D. Yeah, triple D. I think at that time, my choices were nursing or industrial design. I remember these two names very well. But at that time, of course, I had no interest in being an industrial designer. Nor being a nurse. Yeah, so I decided, okay, let's go and work first. Yeah, and then I started out working as a telemarketer. Right, then I think 2 days into the job, my manager at that time felt that, this guy, I think can be agent Or maybe he recruit everyone, I don't know
Telemarketer in a financial advisory firm?
Insurance agency. Financial advisory is the nice.
How much were you earning per hour?
Oh, I can't remember. I think $8 per
hour.
Yeah.
So that one was after JC?
After JC, after NS.
You got DDD?
Triple D.
Okay.
Yeah.
Right. Quite remembrance because I got CEE. Yeah, very jialat.
Okay, more or less the same.
And I went back to ask my principal. I appealed to repeat J2, but I cannot. They said you pass. You cannot repeat.
Oh, so you should have failed then.
Yeah, then I went to SIM.
Okay.
Yeah, which was very. I mean, like I try to apply to everything. Is just totally cannot get it.
Same. Yeah. I mean, I was applying to law just for fun. Law, medicine, etc. Obviously, they all rejected me.
So you work as a telemarketer, $8 per hour after A-levels?
Yes.
Do you repeat J2?
I tried to take A-levels as a private candidate during NS.
Right.
I improved by 1 grade. So C, D, D.
Okay.
Yeah.
Then after that, you never pursue
Yeah, after that, the choices were either I go to private U or I go overseas to study
Right.
Private U, it wasn't really high on my list because there's kind of stigma against private U grads I feel. So I didn't want to spend time studying for something that seems like not as valued as the local unis.
Right.
So the other option was to go overseas to study. Yeah, and my dad was saying actually if you want to, financially, it would not be easy, but they can support which I really appreciated. But at the same time, he also said that, he asked me to explore more of why I wanted to study. Is it to, fulfill some kind of achievement or, ambition of mine, or is it just to earn money? Then I said, I want to make money So he said, go and work, go and try your hand at working, which I thought was quite interesting for an Asian parent to say most Asian parents, I think, hey, go and study. Yeah, so I took his advice and then I went to work first. Yeah.
Would you mind sharing what does your parents work as?
My dad, now he's retired During his active days, he was a stockbroker.
Okay.
Yeah.
Then, your mom?
Mom, she was a tuition teacher.
Okay.
She also started a tuition center last time. She was also an insurance agent. So whatever she has done in the past, I also follow in the steps.
So do you think their occupation has sort of like broaden their perspective, rather than the standard route that they want all their children to definitely complete uni, then they encourage you to maybe try your hand at work and even asking you what is your objective, which I think was a very good question. I mean, asking you what is your objective of going to uni.
I haven't thought about that, but I think that's a good point because both are self-employed for many years of their life. Yeah, so that could be a reason why they were more okay with me pursuing self-employment, not going to college.
Okay. Well, anyway, Seth, thanks for coming for our podcast. And we are on the stage that we are, of course, when we do one-to-one interviews, we talk with different experts from different fields. And of course, you have your own channel. So maybe share with us your current specialization. So what do you specialize on in the marketplace in Singapore?
Currently, I would say it's a lot on credit cards.
Okay.
I mean, because it's my interest, so I talked about it a lot online. And then people come to the website for that topic. Yeah, so it just becomes a self-fulfilling thing. Yeah.
So your content mainly on your YouTube channel is a lot about comparing credit cards and what other content do you usually talk about?
Yeah, so a lot of personal finance topics lah. So I mean, beyond credit cards, we also need things like saving accounts, insurance policies, investments. So yeah, those are also very natural extension of what I talk about on my channel, on my website.
Yeah. Okay. Maybe bring us through a little bit about your journey. We continue from our conversation just now. So basically after the telemarketing stint at the insurance agency, what happened next?
Yeah, after that, my manager, if he's watching, tried to recruit me lah.
Okay,
yeah,
how old were you back then?
21. So that was the minimum age
After
required.
army.
Yeah, after army.
Right.
Yeah, to be an insurance agent. So he tried to recruit me. Later on, I realized he used the same closing techniques that he would later teach me, on trying to recruit me lah. Yeah, so I thought, okay, interesting. I asked my mom, and my mom was from the industry. So she said, okay, you learn a lot. Yeah, so I thought, okay, let me give it a shot lah. Yeah, so 2 days into the job of being a telemarketer, I suddenly, was taking the exams for the insurance.
Just 2 days only?
Yeah, 2 days into the job.
Okay.
Yeah, I still remember he asked me to talk to him after my shift, right? So he was just telling me how much I can earn, etc., etc. And I just wanted to leave because my shift is over, right? In my mind, I'm like, am I getting paid for this or not? So I like subtly look at my watch just to signal that I want to leave. And then he said things like, oh, you learn a lot of things, like you can read body language. Now I know that you want to leave because you're looking at your watch. And I'm like, yeah, that was a point. Yeah. So yeah, I mean, funny story was that, all I wanted to do was find a part-time job, but I ended up becoming an insurance agent. Yeah.
And that was in the year 2009.
2009, yeah.
Okay, which was 15 years back.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
And how was the initial years as a financial planner?
I wouldn't call it financial planning, right? Because the thing that we were doing was actually just memorizing the script for certain products. And then we'll go to the prospect and then just sort of regurgitate the sales pitch. Yeah. And so we were doing a lot of product sales at that time. And I think I did quite okay during the first year. I had friends and family who would support me. And I had quite okay luck, I think, in getting prospects from the cold market, right? That means people who are not your friends and family to buy lah. So I was doing quite okay the first year.
You mentioned that it wasn't really much like financial planning. Maybe share a little bit on that. Like, why was it so? I mean, compared to right now, like the evolvement of the insurance market?
I would say financial planning is a lot more holistic, right? You look through a person's financial objectives, their portfolio, and then you recommend things that would suit those shortfalls. And it can be things that are totally not product related. It could be like, oh, you need to cut down on your liability, you need to improve your cash flow. Those sort of things don't involve a product sale, right? But at that time, it was just, oh, this savings plan will give you certain amount of returns. Yeah, so we didn't do any planning lah. We just went to the client, say more or less, do you want to buy this product or not? But of course, in more eloquent terms lah. Yeah.
How many years did that took place in your whole career of 15 years? That was just purely selling products.
Yeah, that was actually, I think, the first year only.
Okay.
Yeah, so I quickly realized that the commission was a bit too good lah.
Okay.
I was like, okay, I'm earning this much. My clients are paying the policy premium. Okay, what's the catch, right? Where is the money coming from lah? Yeah, so I researched more into the topic. Then I realized, okay, the products that I was selling were not the best, right? So not the best type of products, never mind lah, right? Even within the industry, within the same class of product, they were not the best kind of product. Yeah, so I thought, maybe it's time to reevaluate what I was selling lah. Yeah.
Okay. Is in terms of like you realize that you're getting this amount of commission, but compared to like the total premium in terms of the annual premium, the percentage is huge.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
And like why do you have that desire to try to pivot into something that you feel that is it something that you feel that it will make more sense like holistically for the customer? Like why was there this shift? Like why didn't you want to continue in that since the money is good?
So I think there are two reasons for that lah. One, as I mentioned, the product wasn't the best for the client, and quite a few of my clients were friends and family. So I didn't want to sell them something that was bad, right? And I think the second was also, I mean, it's not completely altruistic lah, because it was sparked by this incident where this client came up to me. He was ready to buy a very big policy, but he showed me a competitor's policy. It was exactly the same product, but theirs was better. So I thought, if I can sell that product also, it's better for my client.
So you mentioned that your client showed you a different product.
Yeah. So it was more or less the same product. It was a clone product actually, but they tweaked the numbers up so it looks a lot better
For the customer.
Yeah, and I mean it is better for the client to go with that policy. So I thought, okay, if I were able to sell that policy, not only will I earn from that, my client also get the benefit, right? It's more of a win-win scenario lah. Yeah, so that really sparked me to look more into alternatives.
What action do you take after that? Like you switch a firm or like?
Yeah, so I did more research into the entire industry lah, because when I joined, it was more like, my manager recruited me, so I was like passively being recruited. So at that time, I was more, I actively went to look for other companies to join. Then I realized there was this thing called IFA, right? So instead of being tied to a single insurance company, you now can represent multiple. And to me, it's like, why didn't anyone tell me about this? Yeah, so I thought it made a lot of sense. Like I can compare and, compare the best products for my clients and sell them something that benefited them. Then I wouldn't lose sale that easily as well.
Yeah. So you swapped to a IFA kind of model.
Yeah, it was not the easiest decision to make also because I spent a year in my agency and we were quite close-knit at that time. I actually just met someone from the agency recently, and after 15 years, we still have a lot to catch up on. Yeah, so there was also the issue of recurring commissions, right? Because when you sell a policy, you get your commissions when the client pay the premiums over the months and years. So I had quite a substantial, I would say at that time, I was 21 years old, so quite a substantial amount of recurring commission. So I didn't have to do anything. I'll just get a certain amount of income. So it was quite a painful decision to leave actually. Yeah.
Right. And when you left, how long were you at that IFA model?
So I left, I joined an IFA for, on paper it was for 10 years lah, but I think I was more active in the first 3 to 4 years. Yeah.
Then subsequently
started my tuition business.
Right.
So that one was 2015. Yeah. So timeline is 2009. I joined my insurance the insurance company. 2010, 2011, I spent some time searching for the next one. So I think I would say start of 2011, I joined the IFA. Then 2015, I did my tuition business.
Okay.
Yeah.
And currently now you're at another model, which is like a fixed fee model.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Maybe share a little bit about this. And maybe after this, we talk a little bit about maybe from the perspective of a financial planner, what kind of models are there? Like are insurance agents paid salary? Are they purely self-employed? Are there still existence of insurance agents in terms of this designation, or everybody are calling themselves financial planners now? And maybe share a little bit about your current model now. Like what model are you in?
So currently, I'm in a firm that charges fixed fees. So we don't take commissions. And instead, we just tell our clients, okay, we will do planning work for you. So it will cost a certain amount of money. And then when you execute the implementation, right, there's another set of fees involved. Yeah, so we don't use products with commissions. And in the past we did, and we'll rebate the commissions fully to the clients. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
That means the commissions that were paid to you, but insurance company, you just rebate back.
Correct.
Right.
Yeah. And in fact, I think over the years, we have started to move towards products that don't even have commissions in the first place. Yeah. So not just insurance, things like investment funds. A lot of funds, they give trailer fees. So like kickbacks to the agent for recommending certain funds over others. So this presented a clash of interest, because if fund A gives maybe 1%, but fund B gives 1.2%, right? I think just by the amount of comm you can get, you will be more incentivized to sell certain products over others.
Now your firm basically adopts a fixed fee kind of policy. Then in terms of the consultants, you yourself as a consultant at your firm, how are you paid? Are you drawing a salary plus comm, or like how does it work?
So actually it's not really called fixed fee lah. We call ourselves fee only because our fees are actually not fixed. Yeah, so fixed fee sounds a bit weird lah, but okay, so we call it fee only. So we are salary based. we do have a certain amount of revenue share, but it's very little lah. Yeah, so mainly it's from the salary that we get every month.
Right. So that sort of like aligns the interest of the customer in the sense that you can just fully really look at what is the best that suits their portfolio and then recommend accordingly. And does it work like this?
Yeah. I would say there are actually two levels to it. So it's not just because the advisor is salaried that he doesn't have any clash of interest, right? Because you have to look at how the firm is being paid also. Yeah. So banks pay their advisors or their RMs a certain salary, right? But because the banks themselves, they tend to tie up with insurance companies and they have certain, they are commission based at the firm level. So they will then instruct their salaried staff to sell certain products. Yeah, so the clash of interest must be addressed at both levels, I feel. Yeah, so for our firm, I'm not speaking on behalf of them, but that's what I understand and that's what I experienced in my firm, is that at the firm level, we charge our clients a fee. So our clients are our sole paymasters. And then my pay comes from my company who pays me a salary. Yeah, so the incentive to recommend certain products over others is not there because we are just getting the pay from our clients. Yeah, so that's how we mitigate clash of interest.
Right. And so far at this current firm, this current model, how does that align with your values and interests? Like what have you learned over the last 2 years?
Yeah, so my main thing now is my online website and YouTube channel, right? So they are, personal finance based. So I think it's a very complementary skill set to have. So whatever I do in my day job, it has some relevance to my online stuff and vice versa.
Okay.
Yeah, so I would say that I've learned quite a lot about how, not just the technical part of planning for someone's, financial objectives, but also the more emotional side of things. Like why are some people, managing their money in a certain manner? Why do they have aversion to certain instruments, etc.?
That convergence, from your tuition business, and then now you're at a fee-only firm, and then at the same time starting your YouTube channel. How did the YouTube channel come about? Like, what was the inspiration to start this channel?
Yeah, so from 2015, after I started my tuition center, I was involved in the teaching and the management. So for, I think about 5 years, I think burnout starts to set in a little bit. Yeah, so, and I think personal finance was always a passion of mine, I guess. Yeah, so I just started to dabble in creating a website and that got a bit of traffic. So I started a YouTube channel because I saw that YouTube channels were also growing. Yeah, and yeah, that just became its own thing and just grew to a point where, okay, this can replace my tuition side of things. Yeah, so I made the jump.
Why do you decide to go into tuition in the first place? Like, was there a passion for teaching or what was the main intent or?
Because back in the IFA, I was recommending the best products for my clients. So I had a client first, 100% client first mentality. So anything that I recommend, I must do if I were the client himself or herself, right? So it ended up becoming a game of selling products that generated the least commissions. Because it tends to be that way. The best products either had very low commissions or no commission at all, right? Certain products, it don't even, doesn't generate commission. For example, like you start a bank account, right? There's no way I can sell a bank account, right? So, but those were things that I believed in at that time. And I was earning 1,000 plus per month.
From doing insurance?
Yeah, from that.
Okay.
Yeah. So on average, I think the first year I did 12K. Second year, I think went up to 22K. Then third year, it was 10K. Yeah, so it averaged out to about 1K plus per month. And that's not,
what are the products that don't pay commission? Are you able to share? Is it that, okay, term insurance, but maybe there are some term insurance that are so good that there's no commission?
Yeah.
Health insurance, that's some with high, some with low. Does it work like this or?
Yeah, so if the client was on a very tight budget, you might recommend something like group term, SAF group term, very, very cheap, and the coverage can be very high. There's some downsides to the group term, but if your budget is limited, that could be your best option. That has zero commission because you're asking him to buy it from SAF. The time was Aviva. Yeah. So there's no commission to be earned from that kind of thing. Yeah. And of course, even if the person wanted to buy a term policy, if you buy, 1 year, maybe for a fresh grad, 1,000 can get you a lot of coverage. You can settle most of your insurance needs way into retirement, right? But if you sell a whole life policy, you can sell something that's $2,000, $3,000 and doesn't really cover all of the person's needs. And then a year or two later, when the person gets increment, you can go back to the person and then sell another policy, right? Yeah, so term policy just had a fraction of the commissions, I would say, of whole life ILPs.
So you're doing that for 3 years?
Yeah.
And that resulted in a burnout?
That resulted in me thinking, what the hell am I doing here? Earning 1,000 plus per month. And then at that time, my clients were, I would say maybe executives who were drawing pretty okay salaries. So I look at them and then I look at myself. I'm like, okay, I'm helping people who are quite okay, quite comfortable, save on their premiums and insurance. And then I'm earning 1,000 plus per month for it. It doesn't feel equitable.
And your volume is quite high.
Okay, at that time, my volume was also not very high because my main form of prospecting was through my website. At that time, I also had a website. Yeah, so I wasn't doing things like cold calling or road shows, which a lot of agents do.
Okay, attraction marketing.
Yeah, the reason why they do that is because every sale you get, it can cover a lot of your time and your cost, right? But it was not a sustainable business if you're selling low cost products like term hospital plans. Yeah. So I felt that so I felt like I was swimming against the tide because not only are these products have low commission, right? They were also actually more difficult to sell. There's something like a savings plan or an ILP or a whole life policy, right? Because term policies have no cash value in it. So it becomes quite uncomfortable for people to buy something that, you mean 20 years later, if I don't claim,
I get nothing.
Yeah, versus whole life or ILP, 20 years later, I actually get something from it. But it's actually the same thing because when you buy a whole life policy, right, some amount goes to the insurance part. And then the other amount, they take it and invest it for you, right? And then over the years, your investments will cover the insurance cost. So it looks like it's free, right? But actually, it is a worse deal than if you buy the term yourself.
And you invest yourself.
Yeah, it's like buying a Happy Meal from McDonald's. And then you realize, if I buy the nuggets and the drink and the fries separately, it's cheaper. Yeah, I mean, that doesn't happen in McDonald's, but it does happen in the insurance world.
Right. So you feel like you're swimming against the tide.
Yeah.
Trying to promote something that's good for the consumer, but end up you are not surviving.
Correct. Not earning enough and then harder to sell.
Okay. So then why is it that then this whole episode for these 3 years resulted in the insurance resulted in tuition business?
Yeah, I think that was the easiest way to supplement my income. Yeah, so I think just nice I was trying to find out, okay, how am I going to increase my income? I have no degree. This tuition thing this insurance thing was not really earning me a lot of money. So I thought, okay, I can teach tuition. Okay, my A-level grades were terrible, but my O-level grades were not too bad. Yeah, so I thought, okay, I can teach O-level stuff. And just nice, my friend had, I think, 2 or 3 students that he didn't want to teach anymore. So he said, do you want to take over? I'm like, okay, sure, let me give it a shot. Yeah, so...
Do you open a physical...
Oh no, I took over students first. So I went to the home, to their homes. Home tutor. At the time, it was like $15 per hour.
Okay.
I don't know why he charged so low. It was a very low rate. But because I was starting out, so I thought, okay, let me give it a shot.
Okay.
Then I realized, I quite like to teach. Yeah. And even though it's 15 an hour, it was 3 students. So every week, I had a regular amount of income. Yeah. So per month, it came out to $400, which against 1,000 is not too bad, right? I was earning 1,000 from my insurance. So I thought, okay, let me continue. And then I got, and when you work at something, it tends to snowball, it tends to accumulate.
Right.
Yeah, so soon I got my 4th, I got my 5th. I started to charge 20 per hour, 30 per hour. Yeah.
Okay. And they resulted in like a physical center?
Yeah. So it came to a point where my mom is a freelance tutor as well. So we thought, maybe we should start a business. Okay. And I just so happened after one of my lessons, I hit up an old classmate for supper. And I talked about this idea and he was very sick of his job. So he wanted to start a business as well.
Okay.
And I was telling him, hey, tuition is such a no-brainer business, right? You rent some space for 3K, 4K. That's probably your only cost. every student that comes in per month, you charge 200, right? You just multiply by however much you need to break even. Oh, the rest is pure profit. Yeah, that's how I pitch it to him. And then he thought, okay, it makes sense. I mean, he's an accountant. So he also sort of agreed with my calculation. Yeah, so we rented a place. Then we started to get students in. I mean, I transferred my freelance assignments to the center. Yeah.
What is the status now of your tuition business? Like, do you expand into like a franchise, or you have more outlets and stuff like that?
At our peak, we had 5 branches.
Wow.
Yeah,
okay.
Yeah. And then a lot of drama happened.
What?
A lot of fighting. A lot of there were lawyer letters sent back and forth. Now there are 3 of us left.
Okay, share more a little bit. Like, what was this drama about? Is it like internally or with customers, or like?
Oh, internally within the. Okay, so I started with my friend. So it was just 2 of us, co-founders. I mean, we are still friends now.
Right.
And then we roped in 3 more to aggressively expand the business. So we thought, okay, we want to be a big chain, right? We need to do things fast. So we wanted to expand fast, and one of the ways was to get more partners on board, get more physical locations. I mean, on hindsight, it backfired. I guess it didn't go as well as we thought. So there were a lot of disputes within the directors. We closed down branch after branch, and then now there's left 3 of us and 1. I think they're opening a second branch. 1 main branch and I think a second one on the way.
Okay, so it was mainly about disagreement between shareholders lah.
Yeah.
Right. Okay.
Yeah.
And what was like the main learning point? I mean, for anybody that wants to start a business, what's your takeaway? Like,
choose your partner more stringently than you choose your spouse.
Okay.
I would say
share more.
Spouse you can divorce. There are a lot of laws and how do I put it? Systems in place to ensure that divorces are as fast free as possible. I mean, it's still messy, I imagine, but at least there are some arrangements that you can do. You can share custody, you can do all kinds of things like that. Wow, when it comes to business partnerships, sometimes when arguments happen, it's not just something like you can, I want to divorce, or it can get very tricky. I feel like
because you have your outlets, you have your employees, and
the kids are more complicated. And the ways to dissolve it is also way more complicated than I ever thought when I came on board. So there are still things that are actually unresolved after all these years.
Right.
It's come to a North and South Korea kind of thing where they're still technically at war, but everyone's tired.
It's like not talking.
Yeah, not talking, and also not really pursuing any action at this point.
Not talking and not growing already. It's just like status quo.
Yeah, those that we sort of fell out with, they are no longer part of the business. I think on paper, one of them still is. I sort of got quite tired of the business also because of all the disputes like that. But the 3 of us that remain, we are cordial. We are still working together. Of course, I left on amicable terms to pursue my own interests.
So for Business Lessons 101, what do you think will be the best number of shareholders for a business based on your journey?
I don't think there's an optimal number. I think that perhaps you should start talking about what happens in a dispute, what happens in an exit at the start. Yeah, rather than, you find out that, things are not working well and then you all start to argue. I mean, to that extent, we actually did try to have certain systems in place, but they were all not adequate. When really things became sour, then that's where you really realize why people tell you not to be in business with your friends and relatives. Yeah. So friendships were, now no longer on talking terms and stuff like that. Yeah.
And do you believe that every business, in terms of like the founding team or maybe the new shareholders or whoever owns shares, there needs to be like an alpha, like the main person that makes the final call? Yeah,
I think that's helpful. That's helpful to some extent. In fact, my business partner, I think we have always regarded him as the de facto. I mean, he's the CEO, he's the leader amongst us. Yeah, so we tend to defer to him, and that moves things along. Rather, versus if everyone's trying to fight for being in the top spot.
Right. And so basically after that business journey, then you went back to fully focus now on mainly your channel plus the fee-only consulting business.
Oh, the website was started just purely out of hobby. Because I like to talk about stuff. It was a blog. Right? I like to talk about politics.
What's the name of your first that blog?
It's still Sethisfy. Okay. Yeah, so it's not because I'm very vain, I want to call my personal finance channel over my name. It's just meant to be a personal blog where I pen my thoughts on all kinds of things. And personal finance just happens to be an interest of mine. So I talk about personal finance.
So you continue on it was quite consistent, all the way.
No, because it started to gain certain amount of readership. So I thought, okay, maybe I can try to monetize it. And it did way better than I expected at the start. Yeah, so I thought, okay, this seems like a business. So no more talk about politics. Let's just talk 100% about personal finance.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So now the main niche, let's go back to your main niche in terms of your passion.
Yeah.
You like to compare credit cards.
Yeah.
Yeah. Maybe share some tips with us, things that a lot of people actually don't know about credit cards.
Many people.
Okay, how many percent on your channel is on credit card?
80%? 70-80%.
Okay.
Yeah.
And why are there so many things to talk about credit cards? Where do you get all these ideas from?
Right. I think one of the things, the ongoing things is promos. Right. So sign up promos, they keep changing, they keep getting better. So in the past, when I first signed up for my credit card, I got $150 for getting a Citibank card. I thought, oh, this is fantastic. Sign up for a card, get $150. Now they're offering $450. Yeah. And sometimes they offer $500. So yeah, so the deals are always something that I talk about. And of course I can monetize from that also. Yeah. So that's
sponsorship and all that.
Yeah.
Okay.
And the next will be changes. So sometimes there'll be new cards. Sometimes old cards get worse. Yeah. So you have to update people who otherwise might not realize that things are changing in the space. Yeah. So some cards they position themselves.
Some cards you need to cancel.
Yeah, some cards you need to cancel. Some cards you need to realize that the benefit is not as good as before, right? So some cards they advertise as 10%. Oh, we are moving from 8% to 10% cashback. But you calculate the actual yield, it has dropped to 4%. Yeah, those sort of things. So
So do you recommend periodically all the best cards now, every month?
Yeah. So I share what are the best cards to use. What's my card strategy like? Ways you can earn more cashback and miles. Yeah, and people like that I think. Especially miles. People love miles. People love traveling on business class. So there's always going to be interest in this topic because of that. Yeah.
Okay. What are the top 3 cards now?
Wow, top 3 cards.
If somebody can only apply for 3 cards.
Yeah. I'll say it depends a lot on your spending. But generally speaking, I think the top card right now will be HSBC Live Plus. The one that just launched weeks ago.
Okay. Yeah, why is it the best?
The one gives you 8% cashback.
Okay.
On dining and certain areas of shopping. So it's quite easy to use. And the minimum spend is $600. Yeah, so you get 8% cashback and it's no gimmicks on. It's not like they advertise 8%, then actually you calculate, I didn't get 3%. It is actually possible to get 8% cashback on that. Yeah.
Second one?
Second one, in fact, I should have mentioned first. It's actually DBS-U. Actually, DBS-U card gives 17.5%
cashback.
Yeah. And it's again not gimmicky. There are cards that advertise, up to 21%, then you calculate, 7% only. This one is true 17.5%. I mean, they give you in points, but the value of the points you calculate is actually 17.5% on everything you spend on within the categories. So it's a bit harder to use. So they tie up with Cold Storage, Giant, Singtel, BreadTalk, etc.
Right.
Yeah. But 17.5% on your Giant groceries is incredible. Very hard to beat.
DBS-U card.
DBS-U card.
Okay. How about the third one?
Third one, I think a lot of choices. I would say one of the mouse cards, perhaps, the 4 miles per dollar mouse cards, of which there are many. And I think the top one right now is Citi Rewards. Yeah, Citi Rewards gives 4 miles per dollar anywhere. So the advantage of mouse cards is that you don't really have to watch your categories like cashback cards do. So 4 miles per dollar, you get it online. Yeah, but I think people have realized that if you pair this Citi Rewards card with this prepaid wallet app called Amaze, Instagram Amaze, you can then use this card anywhere and still get 4 miles per dollar because Amaze will convert your transactions to online. So it's like a little bit of a hack, right? This card gives you 4 miles per dollar online. So if you take it and you go to a physical store, you don't get any rewards or you get very little rewards. But if you pair it with this wallet, and then you use this wallet's card to pay, it becomes an online transaction. So you get 4 miles per dollar anywhere, online and offline. Yeah.
What will you say to people who against like credit card?
Right, if you're using the card to buy things that you cannot afford, yeah, that's the wrong way of using the card. Then if you're someone like that, yeah, stay away from cards. Yeah, use your debit card, use cash.
For our NOTG audiences, it was that. So we thought that it would definitely benefit our audience.